Hello everybody, welcome to a World of Warship Blitz game. This is the fourth time I've attempted to shoot this video, so let's see if I can get through it this time. I'm shooting it from inside my car, outside the supermarket, get some peace and quiet. Let's get some warships going. Right, today's video is the Tier 8, new premium Tier 8 Yukikaze. Now I was going to do all sorts of cool things like compare it with the Loyang, which I don't have any problems. The internet connection is going to be up here briefly, or Le Terrible. However, I will be comparing the Yukikaze with the Kagero for reasons that will become obvious. That delay, which is due to my mobile connection, is going to become seriously frustrating. Anyway, so let's get into it. In fact, it probably won't be as bad an issue as you imagine, because the reason I'm comparing with Kagero is that this Yukikaze is a Kagero class ship. Survivability. Being on the fourth time that I have shot this video, I can probably do this by memory. Survivability is ship hit points. The ship hit points for the Yukikaze are less than the Kagero, making it probably the weakest destroyer in the Tier 8s at 15.57 hit points. 15.9 is the Kagero. The Yukikaze is about 350 hit points less, or ish, in that sort of. The other stats, however, are the same: 5% citadel protection, 10% fire and flooding resistance, 4.5% damage reduction, and torpedo damage reduction of 3% are exactly the same as an elite Kagero. Maneuverability at, now both Kagero and this ship have the elite skill of plus 5% speed, which means that it puts them up the grand total of 35.89 knots for both ships. Time to full speed is slightly faster than the Kagero. I think it's 8.57 rather than 8.88, hardly worth any difference. This does turn faster, much faster. Maximum traverse speed is 9.87 degrees per second with a turn time of 2.55. The Kagero is slower on that front because it has 8.53, so over a degree per second slower. And the turn time of 2.84 is no slouch, but not as snappy as 2.55. Right, back to the Yukikaze. Here we go, guns. This should be easy and quick because the guns on the Yukikaze are exactly the same as the guns on the Kagero. Down to everything. The number of guns, what those guns are called, the range, the damage, the reload rate, the damage, the fire chance, the traverse speed. Now both of them have the equipment to improve the traverse speed, because basically guns on a Japanese destroyer, contrary to popular belief, are not completely useless. They're not great. But if you need them, you really need them, and you need them on target. And the torpedoes, to be fair, you're normally your main event. You're not snap firing with the torpedoes often. So for both ships, they've both got the plus 20%, which gives them a grand total of turret traverse speed of 12 degrees per second, which is not great. So 5.5 second reload, which is pretty slow. Main damage HE is at least main damage for AP and HE I think are exactly the same as for the Benson and for the Loyang. 4% fire chance, which is slightly higher, but they take nearly 2 seconds longer to reload. Torpedo tubes. Right. Be prepared for this is not a great news story. For the Yukikaze, because for the Kagero, which you can earn through the simple expedient of playing the game rather than elite ship, you get better torpedo performance along a number of fronts. Let's start with those fronts. So the torpedo reload time on the Yukikaze is 67.2 seconds. This is 60 seconds on the Kagero. Now the Kagero has the 610mm 93 2x4 launchers, centerline mounted, exactly the same as the Yukikaze, but its reload is faster. Not only is its reload faster, its torpedo damage is higher, 600 points higher. I think 4,602 or 4,604, one of the two, is the damage for the Kagero fully elite. 4,012 is the damage for the Yukikaze. The torpedo range, not a good news story for the Yukikaze there either. The Kagero has a superior torpedo range by about 1.2 kilometres. So 9.98 kilometres on the Kagero, 8.74 kilometres on the Yukikaze. Okay, I told you it's not a good news story because we're going to get torpedo speed, and believe it or not, the Kagero has faster torpedo speed by about 3 knots. 3 knots isn't a lot, but when you're adding everything up, it's not a great news story. And the great news story, well, does not continue because the Kagero, believe it or not, has a 24% chance of flooding versus 19% chance of flooding. So the Kagero is all round a better torpedo boat. This boat has slightly better maneuverability. Does it make it up anywhere else? Let's go down and have a look, shall we? Large caliber AA is 85, which is exactly the same as for the Kagero. Small caliber AA is 45, which is, believe it or not a good news story. The difference between 45 and 79 small AA is not actually really meaningful, but just to let you know, Yukikaze loses out there too. Surface detection, the big benefit that Yukikaze has, apart from its agility, is that it has about 1.15 kilometre better surface detection, which isn't much, but then again, it can be quite useful because at high tiers, if you're doing those real long-range torpedo shots, most battleships and cruiser captains know how to steer, and those long-range shots don't do the sort of damage that you'd really like to see. So we're going to take our fate into our hands here and give a game a shot. Just raw. I am not a torpedo boat captain main. Now there are 2 risks associated with this. One of these obvious, not so obvious, the obvious risk I've talked about is the fact that I am not a good torpedo boat commander. The not so obvious risk, which is going to become apparent, I hope will not become apparent because we have a fairly full queue, is it's 11 o'clock here in New Zealand, which means it's about 5 o'clock in the morning, probably where the server is. But all these early risers have made our day. Right, so what are we up against here? We're up against the Sims and Akatsuki, a Wichita, Gneisenau, and Amagi, and a Shikoku. This is not my ideal situation, so I'm going to operate more as a fleet destroyer. I don't think I can be a lone hunter with that carrier out there. So what we'll do is do a little bit of scouting, now torpedoes have a nice spread. Okay, our torpedoes have a very nice spread. We've got our guns. You can see how slowly the guns rotate. You will see the volume key go down because although you can't hear this, I certainly can hear this. We will, of course, probably try and track a little bit away from those aircraft. We are detected by something, which is not good. And something's shooting at us. What's shooting at us? Oh, we're detected by a bomber. Okay, then. Here we go. Now, the other thing this does have... Oh, here we go. Okay, then. Right, we'll let those pass. And here we go. Right, that 8-second time to full speed, quite useful. Okay, who's my friend? This Wichita. I'm still detected by something. Okay, so far we have managed to avoid being too badly dumped on by the bad guys. Right. Those aircraft. Oh, hello. This Wichita is very useful to be around. So I think I will be using this Wichita as protection. Thank you, Wichita. You are very helpful indeed. I don't know what he's shooting at, but I should probably shoot at it as well. And we are up against this. Well, okay, then he's dropped his torpedoes on the island, which is nice to see. And we are going to, well, that was a waste. Well, if that Amagi turns and slows and basically makes himself very scarce, then maybe my torpedo... He is moving away at a great rate of knots. And bearing in mind that's the case, there's actually not a lot between me and his carrier. So bear in mind how unfriendly the carrier has been, righteously unfriendly. I shall be righteously unfriendly back. And hope that our team manages to protect our base long enough for me to take out their base, because that carrier certainly will not enjoy 2 spreads of torpedoes, assuming torpedoes reload in time. So yeah, so the main advantage of the ship, it is tier 8, it is a Japanese destroyer. Here we go, lovely to see. We just might as well take his cap. So we have a bit of a problem going on here. What's he doing? No, well, he's probably flying his aircraft. We have a problem with our cap, ship in our cap, but he was going to be chased out. He is heading away. I think my torpedoes might have been launched a little bit early there. Right. My torpedoes are definitely not going to make the distance. Okay, this isn't really what I expected the game to be, but fortunately for me we have Wichita, a nice friendly ship with a fantastic, wow, we have a real problem. We need to take this cap because we are being crushed. Probably because we're 2 ships down, because we were busy heading out the wrong side of the... So if we win this game and I have 0 damage apart from 2 planes, this will be a very, very poor showing. Unfortunately, we have a torpedo. If our carrier can deal with that destroyer, we might be in luck. Oh, the enemy aircraft are incoming. Fantastic. That's lovely. Yeah, thank you. Is that destroyer going to head out of our cap? No, he's not. Which means that, well, it's not a great showing for the first time out. Now, Wichita is heading south. Our carrier has missed the opportunity to take down that destroyer. Which means that we need to kill something, and we've only got 24 seconds left in which to do it. Right. I don't know if that proved anything, but that was my 4th attempt to shoot this video, so I am uploading this. Yeah, that wasn't a great outcome. It's going to look awfully like I was away from the keyboard. Still, sometimes battles don't turn out the way you expect. And no, they didn't. Right, 2 planes, 1 captured. Okay, well don't put that down as the average performance of the ship, but yes, from the perspective of what you're getting for this, it is, if you love the Kagero, the ship may be for you. If you don't love the Kagero, well, you can always get the Kagero. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the patience through that rather pedestrian battle, and yes, we will try it again sometime in better circumstances. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.